Yes, that sounds
That is
better.
much better. Yeah, it was driving me nuts. It was driving me nuts. It was,
I know. I was like, "Am I gonna have to fake it like I can hear him this whole time?"
yeah. No, because it was like when I was talking, it was just echoing. And see, you know how it was
Yeah,
echo, you hear it and it'd be delayed, and it's throwing me off.
yeah, it's terrible.
Oh my God. And we had such a good start off too.
That's okay. We can make
It
it
was
work.
okay. So look, like, I'm gonna go ahead and knock these particulars off and then we can get this thing rolling, okay,
All right,
mama?
let it off, Bobby.
All right, then hello everybody and welcome to the Smokers Lounge here on when we're trying to start their own podcast career. All you gotta do is download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm and get yourself a profile. You can start podcasting, monetize, and do all that for free today. I'm your host, Calvin Oliver Silver Champ, aka the Porn Rap Star. Y'all find my music links, my porn links, where you can see that I act real, as well as my social media links where you can follow me all with one link, allmylinks.com/porn rap star. Damn, I need to be a sponsor for this shit. Cause I swear everyone
Right,
has
you're
all my
talking them up.
links. And speaking about sponsors, we have two wonderful sponsors. The first one being the Facebook and community com. Go there today, get yourself a profile, and start your journey or continue your journey into the life of a kink. And our other wonderful sponsor, I'm talking about Eroticism Magazine. So go to Eroticism Magazine today, get yourself a monthly subscription. You can either get it digital or mail to you paperback. Talk about some of the sexiest women from around the world, beautiful photography, doing some freaky shit. So go to eroticismmagazine.com and get yourself a subscription. Also, we're a proud member of the GW District Black Podcasting Network. I'm talking about multiple podcasts giving you the Black experience. So, what you need to do is go to shopgwdistrict.com and check out that podcast network at the same time. Get some shopping done where you get the opportunity to buy a bunch of wonderful products from over 500. I'm talking about 500 Black-owned retailers. So go to shopgw, buy Black, support Black businesses so we can create generational wealth. And also, I want to tell you about the newest spot that we are at. We are right now a part of the Skyhawk After Dark family. I'm talking about Skyhawk After Dark TV.com. Go there today and either listen on my personal page or listen to it as part of the radio station. So you got options. So now, hello. I want to
Hi.
make sure you still there.
That was a mouthful. You said a lot.
Hello.
Hey, I'm here.
Hello.
What happened? I'm still here, Bobby.
Hello.
Um,
Black Wall Street is now online, baby. That's right. Visit the GW District. Shop the very best in men's and women's apparel and accessories, home decor, office supplies, books, pantry items, and so much more. The GW District is a retail marketplace of Black-owned products and media. We're both veteran and Black-owned, and we're bringing you the best online shopping experience with products made by small businesses. Come and experience the GW District difference today at shopgwdistrict.com. That's shopgwdistrict.com. The GW District, a retail marketplace of Black-owned products and media.
That's right. That's right. That's
right. Down there where I couldn't hear you. So I'm not worried because I'm gonna tell you funny. I'm gonna keep that part we just did.
okay.
I just, you know what I'm saying. But anyway, I got the particulars out the fucking way. So who gives a shit? Introduce yourself, sexy.
Oh, hey, that's a nice way to say that. My name is Rioux. You can call me Rye if you want to. I am from Rhode Island. I am grown and new to the porn world, but not new to the podcast world. I used to have my own podcast, and I am planning, hopefully, to get back into it soon. This is giving me, the motivation. I have all the equipment. I have the whole thing. I just put it in the closet.
Yeah, I see. You had the mic and you was doing podcasting professionally like strong podcast for what I was seeing.
Stop,
And actually,
stop.
and,
No.
and your podcast is good. I actually listened to a couple of episodes. And how did you get into podcast before we even get into the porn? How did you get to the podcast?
What happened was I have always, like, since I was a kid, wanted to be on the radio. Like, I always just felt like, you know, I could talk to anybody about anything, and I've never been shy. And I always just like, oh, I just want to be on the radio. Like, that was like my dream. And of course, you know, life happens and never did that. And then when I was like maybe 28 or so, I did stand up a couple of times, which was also one of my dreams. And I was all right.
Let's stop right there. Let's stop right there. You did stand up. You did comedy.
I did.
Tell me about it. Tell me your experience being on the stand up stage. Because actually, one of my smoke buddies, who I'm doing a podcast with, Billy Pilgrim, he was a stand up comedian before he did porn.
Oh wow! So, yeah, I think maybe it's kind of like one of those things that you could sort of, it could be related because it's like the same kind of like exhilarating, you know, like when people. So for me, I always say to people, like, you know, when I'm 80, like my titties are gonna hang, like I'm not gonna be cute anymore, whatever, but I'll always be funny, right? Like funny doesn't go away, right? So I would rather somebody say, oh, like I think you're sexy, you're so funny. Like I would rather somebody be attracted to me for being funny, right? So because for me, it's like funny lasts forever. So I think that kind of like, oh, like people vibe with this, people love this, it's funny. Like that feels really good. The same way that, you know, sex on camera is exciting and exhilarating, and you know, it feels good to, you know.
Yes, Lord. Yes, it does.
Yes, Lord. It feels good to, you know that people are getting pleasure from something you're doing. So they are kind of, you know, tangentially related. But yeah, no, I loved doing stand up and I wish I had done more of it, but then, you know, I had babies and all that. So, but it is, go ahead.
No, because I know with stand up, like you got to have like that comedic timing, that timing on stage and stuff. It's like it's different being an actor, what have you. And like, I mean, how many stand-up shows did you do?
Just a couple. I mean, I didn't go crazy with it, but you know,
just a couple. Okay, we're just a couple.
No, like literally, just literally a couple. But I did. I was friends with this guy who was an actual like working comic, and when I did the first show that he, you know, hosted, he was like, "Holy shit! Like you killed it!" And I was like, "No, like it wasn't that good." He was like, "No, like you like you're gonna do this again." Like he was like behind me, and he was like working money-making comedian. So unfortunately I got pregnant like right after that, and it kind of just like, you know, no shade to my child, loved him dearly. but
it gave you a detour per se.
Right, yes, deep detour. But it is something that I would like to do again. I did, you know, really love it. Anyway, to get back into podcasting, I always wanted to be on the radio, and then found, you know, that people thought I was funny, whatever. I was sort of comic relief in my family when I was a kid, you know. When you realize when you're older, like that's, you know, trauma. Like, oh, I was trying to make everybody laugh because everyone was so miserable. But I guess, you know, funny people always have that in their lives, right? Like, oh, wait, I'm funny because of the trauma. But so when I, you know, met my most recent ex, I said to him, like, hey, like, I'm, you know, this is like before we ever met in person, like we had just started talking. And I said, I would really like to do a podcast. And I feel like the way that you and I are talking to each other, like this good, like bouncing off each other type of vibe would be a great, you know, team on a podcast. So before we even met, we had decided to do a podcast together. And then the night that we met, we went on a date, and he, like looking back, this is kind of weird, but looking back, he recorded the conversation that we had in the car, like after the date, we went dancing or whatever. And then we sat in the car from like 2 a.m. until 6 in the morning, and we talked the entire time. And he recorded the conversation, which sounds creepy, but it ended up being the first episode of our podcast. Like raw, we sent it. He had a friend that worked for a radio station, and he sent him the raw podcast, and the guy was like, this is amazing. Like, I would put this on the radio right now. But then we just, you know, used parts of that or whatever to start our podcast. But it ended up just being about like, you know, like relationships, and we were polyamorous. So it was about like, you know, our adventures and who else we were dating, and just about, you know, life and what was happening in the world and all kinds of stuff. Kink, we would go to like sex clubs and stuff and then talk about our experiences. And but it was really good for me to feel like, oh, I'm doing something that I feel good at, you know, because like, you know, you go through life and you just have so many like disappointments or things that don't work out or whatever. And when I was doing the podcast, I was like, wow, like this feels like what I'm supposed to be doing. And now, like, you know, when I was a kid, like you had to go to radio school and you had to like do all this stuff to be on the radio. But now you can just make your own podcast and you're on the radio. Like there are people who, you know, never went to school for any of that and have these super successful podcasts. And then there's people who went to radio school and, you know, don't. So, so nowadays it's like you can really make whatever you want to. And if people fuck with it, they fuck with it, right? So people fucked with it. People liked it. And we had like, well, the problem is, so my ex, he kept saying like, this is your baby, like you love it, this is what you want to do. So he would kind of back out of it sometimes. So, but because like, for me at least, like the podcast was about like vibing with somebody else and like having chemistry with somebody and talking and whatever. So like I didn't want to do it by myself. So we stopped and started a few times. But once we really like got on a roll with it, within the first like 3 months, we had like 50,000 streams. Which felt awesome. Yeah. So, and it wasn't, you know, it wasn't totally professional. We made the podcast in our house, but then we ended up being on the radio a few times, which is where that picture came from. So yeah, so that was like a professional setting, and we did like a, you know, like a radio show where we talked about our podcast, but then also like people called in and stuff. So, and you know, I used to say like, I'm certainly not a relationship expert. I'm a bad relationship expert, you know, because of experience. I can tell you.
I can't tell you how to keep one, but I can tell you how to fuck one up. That's what you basically saying.
No, I can tell you what to look for, so that you don't go through what I've been through. So, but so people would ask, you know, for advice and sex advice, and you know, not everybody's so like. I've always been really like open-minded and sexually fluid and free and whatever. So, like I've had quite a few people, men and women, say like, hey, like it's really helped me when you talk about this, or you know, when you guys touch on this, like it makes me feel like I'm not, you know, weird or whatever.
I think what we don't realize is how much they make us a part of their day.
Right. No, for real. Yeah.
Because even with me, I'm not a podcaster. I'm also a person that listens to podcasts. So like if they call, it throws me off a little bit.
Well, you know, it's funny. So I don't know if you've heard the Don't Call Me White Girl podcast, but
yeah.
So Mona is, you know, the woman on Don't Call Me White Girl. And I'm like, I think she's my best friend now. Like I listen to her podcast and I'm like, oh my God, like I want to be best friends with this girl. Like, you know, I'm like
up to try to get on my show. So.
Oh, she is funny. But so I was like tweeting about her and she kept retweeting what I was saying. And I was like, oh my God, like we're friends. And then one of the guys that she does the show with, like one of her manager guys, followed me on Twitter. So I was like, wait, now I'm really going to be friends with Mona. And, you know, everybody's like, shut up. And then he started DMing me. So I'm like, no, y'all watch. I'm going to be on the show and me and Mona are going to be best friends.
Yeah.
But it's so funny because, like, you know, Unyque, who I know you know, he's like, you're just like the same girl as her. You're just not from Philly. Like, I'm just also a nasty girl. You know, actually, you can call me white girl. I am a white girl. But I also have a nasty mouth, and I just say whatever I'm thinking. So Mona and I are twin souls.
Because to me, that's part of the reason why I decided to do a podcast. Because I wanted to be able to say what I wanted to say and can give two shits about what people thought about it.
Right, but you want people
and,
to hear it.
yeah, because even to the point, like when I did subscription based, I had straight anxiety because it wasn't whether I was gonna make money. It's I know I'm gonna be saying some good shit on there, and I want.
Right. No, I agree with you.
It sounds kind of selfish in some ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't even about the money in some cases.
But
because
people
it's
look
like
forward to it too. Like if we didn't put out a show every Wednesday, people would hit me up and be like, "Oh, my drive to work sucked this morning because there was no new episode." And then I was like, "Wow, people are really like looking forward to it. Like that feels really good." Like, and it wasn't just about sex or kink or whatever. Like we would also talk about like stuff we were going through, or like my ex was bipolar, so he would talk about like finally going to therapy and learning about himself, and I was talking about I have a child with a very serious rare illness, and so I was talking about like what it's like to be the mother of a child who's unwell, and that kind of PTSD and all that stuff. So it got it was about our lives, and people really did get to know us. So but to get into more exciting stuff, the way that I got into porn was also through my podcast because, right. So in June of last year, we decided, so my ex was really good friends with Princess Gemini. I don't know if you know her, but she's a BBW.
Oh, come on. She'd have been on the show a couple of times. She's a Smoke Buddy. Shouts out to Princess Gemini. That's my
Gemini
homie. Actually, before you go into that, me and her did a shoot together. So I didn't tasted her. Yes. She can tell you how I work.
Know her biblically.
Yes. And the husband. And shout out to her husband too. That's my homie.
I love Joey. Yes. No,
Joey's so cool. Yes.
Yes, he absolutely is. So my ex, his name was Drew. He was very close with Gemini and Joe from just being from Massachusetts because they used to live in Massachusetts. So Gemini had always said like, "Hey, come out to Vegas, like come see us, whatever." And we were like, "Oh, like when we, have money, we'll do that." And then she said, "Hey, I'm doing like a shoot house and a swing event, and we want you guys to do the podcast from the event." And we were like, "Oh, that's a great idea." Like, she had been telling people about our podcast or whatever, and people, were like, "Oh, that's cool. Like, we want to be on it, whatever." So we decided to do that. And so in June, we went out to Vegas. I think it was the first week of June. And as soon as we got there, everybody was like, "Oh, are you talent? Are you talent? Are you talent?" And I was like, "What?" Like, like I had like no idea what was happening.
I mean, to be honest with you, you have a look that is very stunning. I mean, seriously, it's just no matter what hair color you have or what have you, it sticks out and it's sexy. It's like it's like a conversation I had somebody. It's not about, in our business, it's not about drop dead gorgeous. It's about just sexy, and sexy embodies the full package. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, I mean, not to blow your head up, I'm not trying to, blow your head up.
Oh, so now I have terrible self-esteem.
I make a beautiful lady, blush, what have you. But seriously, it not surprised me that when they saw you, they were like, "Are you shooting? Are you shooting?"
So the very first person who came up to me was Rico Blaze, who I know you've interviewed before because I was scrolling through.
Shouts out to Rico.
Shouts out
to Dad Bod God. I call him the Dad
too.
Bod God. I call him that. I said that's his nickname. He's a Dad Bod God.
I love me some Rico. So Rico was, asking me if I was going to shoot and whatever. And I was like, "Oh no, like I'm here to make a podcast, whatever. Like we can, I'll interview you later, blah, blah, blah." He's like, "Oh, we'll do something later." Like mad flirty right off the bat. And I was like, "Oh, all right, Rico." Like, so like I had said earlier, my ex and I, we were polyamorous. So like we both could be with other people, date other people, as long as the other person knew it was totally fine, like nothing off limits, whatever, as long as it was safe. So, it wasn't like completely out of the realm of possibilities that we were going to fuck while we were at, the house in Vegas. So, and he had, hooked up with Gemini before, I'm pretty sure, or at least like messed around with her or whatever previously. So, so we go to the house and, right away, like everybody's talking and coming outside. We were all on like the back porch talking. And I was like, we're just going to end up doing the podcast from the back porch, because everybody would come outside and just start telling me about the business, or telling me about like their experiences, or like their best experience or worst experience. But like, I wasn't even asking them questions. I just have a face, I guess, that makes people want to talk to me, because like people tell me like their life stories in line at the DMV. Like, I know just people want to talk to me. And in a previous life, before this life, well, my real life, but before all of this, I was a social worker. So I guess I'm just like someone you can tell things to. So everybody started coming outside, and I was taking notes in my phone, which I still have. It's funny, I got a new phone, but like, I guess the notes transferred over. So actually, Unyque and I were laying in bed the other night, and I opened the notes, and there was like a whole page of notes about him, and I was like, that makes me seem like such a creep, but it was just for the podcast. But it was like I was writing like about his personality and his experiences in porn. He was like, why do you have that? But so
I know that made him blush like a motherfucker. Like, damn, what she was really talking about.
He was like, wow, you did your research on me.
Yeah.
But so, Rico was flirting, whatever. And then I was talking to Mr. Stixxx, Mr. Stixxx?
Yes, no, Mr. Stixxx. Yeah.
Love him. And he's just so like shy, and like I feel like if I met him outside of that realm, I would never believe he was a porn star, because he was just so like, he would just like grin and giggle at everything I said. And like, he just like didn't say, he said like 3 words, like he's just so different, but like adorable. And, so everybody was talking, whatever, vibing. And then I was like, I'm just going to go get the mics. Like, y'all are telling us all this good stuff. Like, why am I typing it into my phone? Like, let's just, make the podcast, whatever. So, long story long. I guess Rico, Mr. Stixxx, and Unyque had a powwow conversation. And they were like, hey, so I know that, she's not talent, but like, I want to fuck her. Y'all want to fuck her? I'm like,
oh, shit.
Oh, and Thor too, Thor. So
I
love me some Thor.
So they was like, something. This is part of pretty girl privilege, ladies and gentlemen. This is an example of it in the sex world. She is such a bad chick that 4, am I correct? 4, right?
Yes.
4 professional, top notch, well-known male talents was like, forego filming. We just want to fuck this chick.
Yes. And they said that. They said, we won't record it. We'll wear protection. We just want to fuck you. and
I can imagine the smile on your face at that moment.
Well, little did they know that your girl had like, a gangbang fantasy and never was able to fulfill it until that night. So
that your ass just had for your first gangbang. That's a lot of sausage, darling. Yes.
Well, not to leave Thor out, but I did. So Thor kind of came in like after and was like, hey, can I be a part of this? And at that. And I felt really bad, but I don't really fuck white dudes. So I was like, Thor, you seem like a great guy, but right now it's just going to be me, Unyque, and Stixxx and Rico. So, and since then, Thor and I have become really good friends. We talk all the time and whatever. He's a great guy. And Thor is not your regular. He's not your regular white man. Like, he's not, going to yell at you and punch a wall next to your face. Like in my experiences with white men. So I do love me some Thor, and now I feel guilty, and I should have let him come in on the game. Thor, I owe you one.
But at the time, I don't. You was in heaven.
Oh, it was amazing. Yeah. So it started. They had a glory hole. They had like a portable glory hole, which kind of makes me laugh because it really is just like a piece of canvas. But they had the glory hole set up, and it was in their laundry room. So it started there, and then moved, beyond that with everybody else. But Rico and I had the glory hole experience.
Okay,
which was filmed, so that does exist, and I have to talk to Rico about putting that out.
Mm-hmm.
But then, we moved to the bed and it was amazing and we had so much fun. And like, it was like glow night at their house. So I had like glow in the dark paint all over me. So like there's pictures, some of the pictures I'm like, like grinning. All you can see is like my teeth because I'm smiling so much and just like glow in the dark paint on my titties and on my face. But yes, it was amazing. We had a really great time and it was like 3 hours long and I had no concept of time because I was just blissed out. And so after that, they were all like, why aren't you a porn star? Like, why don't you do this? And I was like, oh, I don't know. Like, I've just like never really like, I mean, of course I would love to, make money and whatever, but I've just never really thought about it. And all three of them agreed that it was top 5 pussy and mouth of all time of anyone they've ever fucked. Paid or unpaid. So
serious. That's serious. Top 5,
that's
yeah.
a compliment, right? Like I was like, oh damn, like for real? And like they were like, no bullshit, like that was amazing. So I was like, all right, well, I'll think about it, whatever. And then came home and my relationship just blew up. And it was not great anyway before that. So it just ended up, fizzling out and whatever. And Unyque and I had stayed really close and Rico and I talked all the time. And so after my relationship ended, Unyque hit me up and he was just like, hey, like if you need someone to talk to, like I'm around, whatever. And like, he's like, I want to help you like make money. And he's like, I really think that you could have a career in this. And, I know you're a single mom and blah, blah. So we talked a few times and then like, we started talking on the phone more and more that I was like, wait, what is happening here? Like, and so I would joke with him, like, I'm like, watch, like, in a few years, you and I are going to be married and people will be like, oh, how, we have a baby, whatever. Like, I'm just joking with him. I'm like, people will be like, oh, how did you meet, how'd you meet your mother? Whatever. In a gangbang.
Pissing on the grass. You was actually pissing on the grass, didn't know it. You was pissing on the grass, you didn't know it. That what that was. Because I'm telling the truth. She's like, he don't know I'm pissing on the grass, but
it's just so funny. Like I took a picture that night before everything went down, and it was like Stixxx and Rico and Unyque and Lil Chris. Lil Chris.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Don Prince. Everybody was lined up. And they were like, oh, get down on the ground so you could take the picture. So I knelt down. And then I remembered that I wasn't wearing any drawers. So I took the picture, but they were all like looking right at my pussy. And like, you could totally tell in the picture that they were not looking at the camera. Like they're all looking at my fucking pussy. But so I said, when we're old and gray and married and we have grandchildren, they'd be like, oh, how'd you meet grandma? I'd be like, in a gangbang. All these guys in this picture. Like, terrible. But he keeps saying like, oh, we'll change the story. Don't worry. We'll make up a new story. Like, but so long story, way too long. So now Unyque and I are, content partners and, making, exclusively pretty much all of our content together. We worked with Nikki Stixxx recently, Big Titty Nikki, and
I did that. Go ahead.
Nikki is amazing. Yeah, you were looking at them titties, I'm sure. It's like I said, girl, I have to like hoist these things up just to like play with them. Like they're like basketball. She's got big titties. I said, if that's a titty, then I don't think what I have are titties as well, because it feels like a different species.
Yeah, she's busted in the motherfucker, and she also, like I said, she has a name, she been in the business for a minute.
Yeah, no, and she's so sweet, and just like I was really nervous. Like I've been with women before. Like I've been in relationships with women. I've been bisexual, out bisexual since I was 15. Like, so, but I was worried about working with a woman at like in the porn industry, because I was like, oh, I just feel like, you know, I don't want to like, I typically relate better with men. I have a lot of male friends. Like I don't have a lot of female friends, and it's not because I'm like a bitch or whatever. It's just like, I'm just kind of like a tomboy. So I was just like, oh, like, what if she doesn't like me? And what if like we don't get along? And what if like she's like super girly and I don't know how to talk to her? And I'm also like, I only have sons. Like, I'm just like not around a lot of women. So, but like we hit it off right away. She was cracking up. Like she was just like, yo, like I'm dead. Like I can't stop laughing. Like we were like, Unyque was like, he wasn't mad, but he was like, girls, because like we were just giggling like the whole time, and like we banged heads trying to like get to the dick at the same time, and like there were so many bloopers. Like I was like, this video.
Everybody each other trying to get to the dick. Oh my god! Tell me y'all didn't do that.
She posted it. She posted the video. I was dying. Like we were both just cracking up the whole night, and Unyque got a hotel, and we stayed in the hotel like a whole day, and then overnight, and then a whole nother day, and we just shot the entire time. But there's so much content, but there's also so much bloopers. Like I have to go through everything and cut out so much shit. But I was like, we should just make a blooper reel, because like this is hilarious. But we also all got the Rona from that experience.
Yeah, I'm recovering from my Rona myself. So
how
bad was your symptoms?
Oh, it was bad. Oh God. And Nick's gonna be so mad because he doesn't like when I say he gave me the Rona. But I didn't have it before, and then I did have it. So but he and I were both really sick. Yeah. And thankfully one of my kids got it, but he got it like a week and a half after I had it. So I don't know for sure if I gave it to him, but he was fine. But I was like really sick. Like I was by myself. I'm a single mom, so I sent my kids to their dads, and then I was just in the house completely by myself. And I was like, what if I die? Like nobody's gonna know. Like this is crazy. Like, and I was like breathing funny, and my heart rate was going really high, and like I could like the worst part, and I don't know how bad it was for you, but the worst part was like the fatigue and like the bone pain. Like
that's what I was getting, the fatigue, the bone pain. And
like,
then I started to get like cold symptoms like 3 days later.
Right. Like I couldn't even go downstairs. Like I barely left my room for like 5 days. Like I would go downstairs and like try to get a snack. And like by the time I was back upstairs, that was like all the energy I had for the day. Like it was crazy how run down it made me. Like just wild.
I slept. Put it this way, I lost days.
Yeah, no, me too. Me too. And like Unyque and I kept checking in with each other, and he ended up going to like in New York they have like you can go to a hotel, like a COVID hotel or whatever, and they like give you meals and stuff. But like he lost his sense of taste and smell and all that. I didn't lose that.
God bless you, Unyque. Glad you're feeling better, my brother.
I know, right? I nursed him back to health.
I'm pretty sure you did. You look like you're a very good nurse.
I said, listen,
I don't think he complained.
If you're gonna get COVID, you might as well get it fucking 2 women, and you know, spending right. You might as well. And the funniest thing is,
I didn't get it that way. I got it from work.
Yeah, you don't have a good story. The funny thing is, I was editing one of the videos, and in the video, you know, like Nicky's sucking his dick, and then I'm sucking his dick, and then I jokingly said, and this is how we all got COVID, and then that is how we got COVID.
Hey, you know something? That'd be a great selling point for that scene. I'm sorry, they're just the producer.
I said that. Anyway. I said, Nick, if we don't call this scene, you know, the one where we all got the Rona, like I was like, we really need to market it that way. Like we had a fire ass time, and then we all almost died.
Yes, so true. God damn.
Right? Especially that is exactly what's happening. Everybody's like, if you go out, everybody's like, I'm outside. Yeah, and then 10 minutes later, you're about to die. Like
that is so crazy.
Right. So, and I was like, don't let my baby daddy find out that that's how I got COVID. Like
See?
I knew you was a slut. No, I'm just and he does know. No, you used to
you
love
ain't
it.
his slut no more, though.
That's
you
why
ain't his
he's
slut
there.
no more. And I'm
No,
pretty sure he remembers, and he's like, God damn it.
God damn it. Exactly. Because tonight, when I was taking my son to his little sports, my phone rang and it was Unique. And I was like, hey, let me call you back. And old boy gave me a big side eye. And I was like, sorry, bud. But no, it's fine. And I want to say, before I forget, also at the Shoot House swing event was my girl who I fell in love with and I'm so sad about. But rest in peace to Jada Bams. Because
yes, rest in peace to her. Yes, that hurt me too. I met her shortly for a small frame.
We just connected we spent all night outside talking. We were laughing, 3-4 days we would go out every night and just talk and talk and talk. And like I just felt like we connected so much. And then like when I heard that, like I like couldn't function for like a day and a half. Like everybody was calling each other. Like I was on the phone with Neek, and then Rico started calling me, and then Bella Love and I were talking, and like, oh, it was terrible. Like we were all just so heartbroken.
You know all my smoke buddies.
Yeah, no, I do, right? I love me some Bella. Bella and I have been talking about getting together.
Anyway, go ahead.
Bella and I talk about, we realized when we were in Vegas and we're like all, walking around naked, Bella was like, you and I have like the exact same body, right? Like we have the same butt, same everything. We have the same build. I was like, Bella, we're body twins. But we had a great time. But yeah, so rest in peace to Jada Bams, because I really feel like she was just so good to everybody. Everybody loved her. And like it really hit everybody hard. And like, I didn't know her as well. I mean, I knew her from that weekend, but I know people knew her from, conventions and porn houses and all that, and really loved her. So I wanted to make sure I said something, about that, because that hit everybody just so hard. Like,
because she supposed to be on the show. She had supposed to be on the show, and she went MIA, but now I kind of see why. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I tell people it's okay to take a mental break. It's okay to step away from the game. The game is not going nowhere.
Right. And sometimes, it's good to get to the bag and it's good to hustle, but it's also good to just like, self-care is important, and the bag isn't everything. Like you can't take it with you, and you have to live your life too. And you can't just hustle all the time. Like you also have to like enjoy your life and take care of yourself. And, her husband, Edmund, was like such a great guy, cooked for us every day while we were there. Really great guy. And I just can't even imagine the kind of pain he's in. So yeah, it must be absolutely devastating.
No, your life. Real. And so you seen every day.
Just right. And so quick like that.
I can't
like
fathom it. Yeah. Unexpected.
Right. And the way that, me and Neek and Rico and Bella and everybody just we like, none of us could even, like Rico and I just like sat in silence on the phone. Like I was like, you good? He's like, no. And he's like, you good? I was like, I don't know what to do now. Like I got to go pick up my kids, but I'm like, what? Yeah. Like none of us could even like do our day. Like it was just like, holy shit. Like, and I wanted to go to the funeral, but it was like kind of, I think it was probably more family. Like it was, they kept it quiet. But so not to bring the mood down, but I felt like that was
no, actually it's a great way to tamper it down, and we now got to do a segue, because now we got to get to the part of the show that my fans and my listeners expect from the Smokers Lounge. And this is the part where I say the dicks go limp and the pussies go dry. We about to talk about the business. The business, baby girl. This is why we do this. To give people inside look, to normalize us, to let people know that we're smart, we're intelligent, we have opinions, and we are business people, and we should be taken seriously. Now, with that being said, you have the unique perspective because you started in podcasting and you have now doing porn. Now, we're going to get to the podcasting in a second. Because there's a different beast when it comes to the business side and all that good shit. All right.
Yeah.
With the porn, I began with one. When you began doing shoots, with doing shoots, it was really fun. When did you do the professional shoot? And what I mean by that is where, okay, this ain't just spontaneous. We planned this out. Tell me about that experience to the point that what I mean by the difference between you was fucking for fun versus now we fucking for funds. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yes, I absolutely do. Yes. So after Vegas, and everybody saying, and even Joey, Gemini's husband, was like, Chloe, like, whoops, just said my real name. He was like, why don't you do this? Like, why, you have the best personality for this. Like, you're so easygoing. Like, everybody, wants to work with you anyway. Just like, he was like, just think about it. Stay in touch with everybody. Like, you could really do this. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just add everybody on Twitter, add everybody on Instagram, whatever, stay in touch with people. And then when Nick and I started, talking and being friends and whatever, he was like, hey, like, I really do want to help you. Like, do you want to make, shoot together? So I was like, yeah, let's do it. Like, I need the money. I need to get back into, the swing of things, whatever. So we met up. He got a hotel near me. And we met up, and the funny thing was that he had all these ideas for like what we were gonna do. Like, oh, we'll do a scene like this, we'll do a scene like this, da da da. And the very first thing that happened is that we didn't turn on a single camera, and we fucked in real life.
Yeah, that what happens. Yeah.
He's like, I've been missing that since June.
If I know you did, he probably kicked himself in the ass afterwards. Like, God damn it, why I turned on the camera?
Oh, he was like, that was amazing. Like, the bed was like soaking wet. Everything was wet. Everything. He was like,
you know better than that, dude. Come on, you got to get out. I feel you, bro. I feel you. I
said that. I was like, you should have just set up the camera just like hidden camera style or whatever, because that shit was crazy. Like, ugh, it was wild. It was like I haven't seen you in 6 months kind of bugging. And so that was how we got it out of our system.
Yeah.
And then we shot a couple scenes after that, and then he came back the next week, and we did it again. And shot a couple more. And then the next week after that was when he brought Nikki. So we shot 3 weeks in a row. We all have so much content that we still need to go through. And I'm sure Nikki has some of it on her OnlyFans. And I just started my OnlyFans.
Now the thing I want to ask you is this.
Yeah.
Because fucking on camera is not the same as fucking off camera.
Right. It's not.
I know Unyque, because he's a dude cut from my same cloth. I know he works with you on working the camera angles and stuff like that. Speak about that.
Okay. So we actually kind of had our first, not fight, but sort of a kiss. we got into it a little bit. Last weekend I went to Queens, and we got an Airbnb, and we, filmed all weekend. And he was very much in director mode for some of it, and not that he was being mean, but
I know, trust me, because my wife, she used to do porn, and I was a photographer in the video. Yeah, I know. Go ahead. Trust me.
So he was being a little bit
it's funny. It's like a funny PSD for a man like me, because see, I met my wife the same way that y'all met. But go ahead.
And are y'all still together?
Yeah.
Yay! Oh, that gives me hope.
Oh, because understand this, truth be told, you better off with somebody in the business.
No, I agree.
They understand the business. And also it's like this. I always say it's a blueprint to this business. You have resident male talent, and then you branch out and work with established male talent just to get your cachet and to tap their fan base, and then
Right.
they will get from their fan base, period. But you have regularity with some new stuff in between. You feel me?
Right.
Your regularity is unique, and you have a special. Let me put it this way: the man does the business. Let me say
Right.
this again so you can understand, my listeners can understand. He does the business seriously. So he's not only talent, he's a producer, he's a director, and he has a woman who does it also. So it's kind of like now I have a brand. Now we have a power couple dynamic coming here because that's what's happening. You
Right.
feel
And
me?
it is what's happening because we really vibe really well together and the scenes look fire and like people are like asking us about it. Like, oh, like people were hitting him up like, oh, are you going to shoot with Rioux again? Like, is that like your thing? Like, y'all going to do this all the time? And like, he was like, yeah, like we're a content couple. Like, we're going to make content together. And, I mean, we're going to be with other people and bring other people in or whatever. But like, that's like our main goal is to like shoot together. So,
I mean, like the Ferraris. Dan and guy can't figure his wife's name. They do the same thing. You feel me?
Yeah.
Because this is why I love this. Is the type of couple I like. I like a couple that both the man and the woman can indulge into the business of porn. It's not a one-way street.
Right. And he had said, and Nick has told me like, oh, he tried to do it before, and like other girls were like, oh, I can't really be with you if you're gonna be doing porn, blah blah blah. And I'm like, why? Like that's the bit. Like, and the funny thing is, he's always like, Chloe, like, oh, I keep saying my real name. You can cut that out. He's like, listen, like other girls don't want to have sex.
Ain't nobody gonna care because they know my real name. So go ahead.
Okay. He's like, other girls like don't want to fuck as much as you do. I'm like, listen, like I want to fuck every day, so we might as well video it. Like, why not? Like, and if other people want to watch it, that kind of turns me on a little bit too. Like when people tell me like,
but here's the thing I want to ask.
Yeah.
Where did the creativity come in? Because okay, y'all are together in a relationship. So
yeah, but I mean,
I know you meet, but it's like what I mean by when y'all come up with different scenarios and stuff like that, because it has to be that balance that because you're not just filming anymore. You're filming towards becoming a top-notch porn star because that's where you're headed in many ways.
Well, thank you. I
I mean, okay, then let me put it this way: your hit list is top 10 guys. Yeah, I said it. And I don't give a fuck what was said. She damn near hit off probably business.
And they said the pussy and the mouth was top 5 all time. I'm gonna make them put that on my headstone. Like, and she had the top time.
Nominated dicks outside. You had nominated dicks in the tongue. Come on. I mean,
I turned down AVN nominated Thor Johnson for
Come on. I mean, let's keep it real. We keep it real on my shit, yo. Straight up. I don't bullshit when it comes with the Smokers Lounge. Because damn, my fans know how we give it up, period.
Listen, I don't bullshit ever. So you
know what I'm saying? So it's what I'm saying. So it's like with you guys, it's kind of like, because even when I look at you, right? God knows you're a role play dream. And let me explain to you what I mean by role play dream.
Okay.
I can play you in so many ways. And even can go to cosplay if you want to go there. We can go Star Wars. Shit, man. I have your ass play goddamn.
Am I in the Star Wars? Am I an Ewok?
No. I'm gonna tell you what's crazy, right? See, I don't want to go into the Star Wars bag. This is supposed to be an interview about you.
Do you have a big Star Wars bag?
There's a species that if I would love to see someone pull that off as a porn scene, but that's another conversation. Or even Captain Marvel. I can see Captain Marvel with you.
That's so funny. My ex used to call me Captain Marvel.
and shit, I can go anyway, but the point being is kind of like, do y'all like discuss role play scenes, come up with different fantasy scenarios and stuff like that?
So the funny thing is, so that's kind of okay. So Unyque is very much like, hey, let's like think of a scene, let's think of a scenario, like da da. And I have always been like real quick with like ideas and like, you know, I just like I can come up with like a jingle or a slogan or whatever real quick. Like that's just always been something I've been good at. So, you know, me and Nikki were like firing off ideas, whatever. But the funny thing is that I really like with Unyque and I really value like authenticity and like our sex being like us really having sex. So, and I've been talking to him about that, is that like I kind of want, for us at least, for it to be more gonzo, like just like, hey, we're fucking. Like like nobody's listening to the acting. Nobody's listening to us with, you know, like saying terrible lines for 5 minutes and then we fuck. Like, let's just fuck. Like, so.
But see, but this is the question that I ask you, because like I said, I was going to ask the hard questions.
You asked
okay. Me. That's the brand of the porn couple, power couple.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the brand of Miss Rocket. See,
yes.
See, that's what I mean by, it's like the thing about the dynamic of the porn couple is that they have the brand together. Like I look at like Dorky Peaches, right? Shouts out to Dorky Peaches. God dang Peach Fuzz. Dorky got his brand, she got her brand, they got their brand together. You feel me? Right. But they make sure that it's a balance that neither brand suffers. You know, period. So,
and Nick has been very good about that with me. Like he's been very like, you know, I'm gonna give you all the scenes so you can build your portfolio. Like I'm not taking any of this. Like this is all for you. Like build up your, you know, stuff. And then like he's had, you know, people reach out to me like Nasty Media Group or whatever wants to work with me, and Throat Wars hit me up today. And
Shouts out Wars. Shouts out
to Throat Wars. It's so funny today.
Ridiculous. What's going on, brother?
Yes, so I'm gonna hit them back and, you know, try to work with them. They're in ATL, but you know, maybe I could fly down there. But yeah, so I think that Nick putting me out there and promoting me so much has helped with those people, you know, hitting me up. And I am gonna, you know, start to branch out and work with more people. I think I've just been kind of like getting more comfortable with it. And, you know, it's not the sex, like I'm not uncomfortable with any of that. It's just like the business part. Like I don't want to jump into it and be like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Like I want to know. But, you know, Nick has realized that I am like a super curious person. And so like whenever he's doing something, like I'm asking him a lot of questions about like, okay, what if this happens? What do we do in this case? Like, what do you call this? You know, so I am really learning a lot and getting more business savvy in this realm. You know, I'm podcast business savvy and whatever other kinds of things I've done in my life, but this is something I need to like study up on. So my brand personally, I don't know, like I am just like all of my friends see me as like the homie, you know? So like I, you know, I'm kind of like one of the guys. So like I just, you know, I want to like make content that turns people on and like is fun, and I don't want it to be really phony. Like I hate phony porn. So like I've actually been asking like my, you know, I have all of my friends are like, you know, men that I met in college and we're all still friends.
But see, I mean, your look, but I mean, I hate to interrupt, but your look, you can get in so many bags with it though. I'm just saying.
You tell me, what kind of bag should I be in?
Okay. All right. No, seriously. It's like, okay. I always had this conversation when it comes to sex symbols. What makes a sex symbol, right?
Yeah.
What made Marilyn Monroe so hot? What made Rihanna so great? It's because she is every woman's woman. And what I mean by that is that I can picture you in any situation and you're fitted. From a librarian to, I say cosplay, you know, period. Because you have a look that spans and that's broadened across whole bunch of different genres to different shit, you know, period. it's like I can see it's shit. I don't know if you're into BDSM or anything like that, but yeah.
Sir, I will do pretty much anything.
I mean, you like this. You can go mainstream and alt. Seriously, you can go alternative and mainstream. That's but just not the. It's. I'm pretty sure your Nuke told you this shit. I know he sees it. Ouch! I bit my tongue out this motherfucker. But no. But I know you probably sees that because and a lot of people see it because like I said, it's a look that I mean it sticks out, you know. But I mean to me that's why I say there's so many bags you get into. That's why I was like, yeah, role play. Oh yeah, you should get into that bag, darling. It's a lot you can do.
I will get into that bag. Yeah, I mean, I'm so new that there's so many experiences that I can, go and do. And I'm looking forward to so many things. I don't want people to be like, oh my God, she's so new. Let's take advantage of her.
Yeah. But lucky for you, you have somebody that's there that's mentoring you.
Oh, and I don't know if you know Unyque as like, outside of porn, but he's like a ninja. So he's not gonna let anybody take advantage of me.
I mean, you his girl, so that's one. Because you know what I'm saying? I mean, duh. I ain't gonna let you fuck over my woman. What the fuck? What kind of man would I be if I allowed that shit to happen?
Right. And it's funny that you're like, that's his woman, because nobody knows that. They do now.
I mean, I'm so sorry. I mean, but y'all saying porn couple, saying couple this.
We are both. But yes, we are working. I'm still, healing and coming out of old situations and all that.
Yeah.
And we're trying to like figure out our zone. But like definitely, I mean, we talk all day, every day, and we have a lot of love.
If let's just say this, y'all are it's a business friendship.
I mean, I think it's more than that. And like, he's been joking with me.
Wait, shit. It's a damn shame. Some people just don't want to admit the obvious and people can see it from a mile away. Because you can just hear her voice.
No, that's my man. That's my man. You're right. That's my man.
You just hearing it through the radio or wherever you listen, just the giggle and happiness when she just say his name with glee out this month. Come on, man.
Oh no, I mean I adore him. Like, he's so amazing.
No, he's a good dude. He's a good dude. You know what I'm saying?
I'm so thankful that he's the one. Yeah, and he really has been a mentor to me in a lot of ways in all of this, but also just like Nick is like such an enlightened guy. Like when I met him, like I was just like, wow, like you're a porn star? Like you're so like he's like a monk. Like he's just like so peaceful and like centered, and like he's really been helping me like, deal with like a lot of trauma and like, bad shit that people have done to me. Like he's just like talking me through a lot of stuff, and like I don't want you to think I'm saying he's not my man, because he is. But we're just taking it slow because I've been
nah. See, I'm gonna tell you what it is. Hold on. Let me explain to the viewers. See, technically, I'm from the old school. I've been in business 15 years. Technically, we're not supposed to know she has a man, but times so because seriously, because of OnlyFans and the webcam and the normalization of porn, plus on top of that, the normalization of the lifestyle of being poly, sister wives, and all that shit.
No, not polygamy.
I'm just saying, it's kind of like you can't put the toothpaste back in the tube. You feel me?
Yes, I absolutely feel. I'm not trying to put any paste back in any tube. Listen, I'm trying to suck the cum out of that man's dick every day for the rest of my life. If I'm kidding, but no, I adore him and he adores me, and like we really are. We are being very intentional about taking it slow in our personal relationship. Porn, let's blow that up, let's do everything, let's whatever. But in our personal relationship, because we both have kids, because we both have been through it with other people, because, we both have relationship trauma, whatever, we've both been really like working through our shit and talking it out with each other and I go to therapy and everything too, but we've really been very intentional about what we want with each other, and is this the right thing to do, and do we want the same things? And we really do, and that's why it's been so easy to just like vibe and fall into it. And like I said, like we see each other, like we fuck, and then we're like, shit, we got to put it on camera. Like that happened this weekend too. Like he was like, we're talking every day, and then I'm like, all right, fine, I'm gonna get a room. I'm gonna come to Queens, and I drive 3 hours, and he walks in the door, and we're just boom, fuck it, and I'm like, put the camera on. like it's like a movie, and like you like are at the door like throwing clothes and making out. I was like, damn, like this is real, like it's crazy.
That's a beautiful thing. So now that you have now really starting to get deep to the business, a lot of people, let's talk about the ups and downs of the business, because I know you have sites. You have sites at this point in time.
Yeah.
Speak to the ups and downs, the certainty of the money, and when it's slow, what do you do to pick it up? Period, as far as promotion or what have you.
Right. So that's sort of something that I'm like learning about right now. And, because I've, promoted the podcast and all that, and like when viewership would, slow down a little bit based on like, over Thanksgiving or over the holidays or whatever, like you would get kind of nervous, like, oh, we have less people listening. They're not in their car every day. Or even like through the pandemic, like sometimes it was like people were just doing other stuff, whatever. So I have become pretty good at like social media and like, reaching out to people and whatever. And I already, before I started making actual porn, I was selling videos and lewds and whatever anyway. So I had kind of some like regular people.
So you was indulging already before you really jumped into it. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. It's so funny.
Yeah, I just do it professional now.
Yes, exactly. I'm like, and the funny thing is that people hit me up. They're like, oh, you used to give me free nudes all the time. I'm like, oh, well, yesterday's price is not today's price anymore. This is PornStar verified top all-time pussy. Like, it's not free anymore, sir.
No, not free anymore, goddamn. Even the free videos we get paid for monetization. Yeah,
exactly. So, but I am good at like, promoting myself and saying like, hey, check this out, or like, because like I think that it's important to just be yourself. And so my thing is like, being authentic, being funny, whatever. So like I do kind of like to like promote it by saying funny shit, like, like me and Nikki banging heads, or this is, me and Nikki, like we kept joking like, oh, we're so professional, and like we kept saying it, and Nick was getting so mad like every time I did anything like on the set that like I felt like I was like I turned the sound on my phone, I was like, see, professional pussy, and like we were just like cracking up, but Nick was like, oh my god, like but like we had so many bloopers like of me and Nikki just saying professional. But like it's just, I don't know, I just like to find the humor in it, and like I think people vibe with people who are real and they want to like see it and see what y'all did, and that's just for me. Like I feel like I'm good at being myself, and people like tell me all the time like, you talk about your shit, you are really open about what you've been through, blah blah, and that makes me feel like I can do it too. So I want to like transfer that into porn as well. Like I'm not going to be like, oh, let me make porn about my drama, but like I want people to know like I'm a real person, and
you want to know your story.
Yeah, and like I want it to be like relatable, like I don't want it to be like, I mean, like I don't have big fake titties, I don't have a big fake butt, like I don't, and in no shade to anyone who does, I would love a big fake butt, but I'm just like a real person. I have a mom bod.
Yeah.
I had a 10-pound.
That's what's popping. I mean, people don't realize that's what the men want now.
I know, sir. Porn. I had a 10-pound, 22.5-inch baby in my 5-foot tall body. Like that baby, it took up my entire body. But I have been looking at Twitter and reading comments from men that it's changed my entire perspective of what men find attractive. Like, yeah. I had no idea. Like and I think culturally it's different too. Like because all of my friends are Black and I only date Black men and whatever. I've kind of realized that like for white women, like we were all raised in the 90s, like thinking that you had to look like fucking Kate Moss, right? Like hair, you had to look like you were a junkie in order for your body to be perfect, right? But it for instance with my last ex, like he liked bigger women because all the women he knew in his family were bigger, like mom, grandma, whatever, everybody was bigger, and that was like, oh, like your granddaddy was like, yeah, look at that in the back, whatever, right? So like he was always attracted to bigger women. I was the smallest woman he had ever been with, and so that kind of changed my perspective a little bit too. And then I had always, I had eating disorders and all that shit, used to do terrible shit to myself. And so I've always been trying to make myself skinnier and whatever. And then, kind of realized like, oh, bitch, like you're from, my ancestors are from Russia. Like we're like, hardy, thick people. So like, I'm never going to be, a skinny little bitch. Like I'm really like muscular. Like even if I try to lose weight, like I'm strong. Like I'm like, so I'm hardy. Like I'm never going to be like a little tiny thing. So I kind of had to like learn my body and learn like, oh, all right. Like if I work out, like
no, you got a nice, you got a nice body, Mama. You nice ass, nice body. I mean, no, you straight. Ain't no question about it.
I'm working on it, but and I keep telling Nick like the more back shots the better because I'm trying to grow this little butt.
God. Now look, I got to ask you this now.
Yes.
Because this is the first time I actually had someone that did a reverse, and what I mean by that is, I know you have noticed a lot of the adult film industry is starting to get into podcasting.
Yeah.
In many ways. Well, not in many ways, period. And I call it the porn sphere. That's what I call it, because that's what we talk about or what have you.
It's the porn to podcast pipeline.
Yeah, basically. So it's like, with seeing that, what do you think of that, one? And two, speak to the advantages of having a podcast and doing porn.
Okay, so I would say, listen, I think everybody has a story that's worth telling. You just have to be good at telling it. You just have to tell it in a way that people want to listen to it. And so anybody really can have a podcast. Like, I mean, you might make a podcast and it's fucking boring and nobody wants to listen to it, but then at least you did it, you tried it. Okay. But I think that there's value in every story. And if you want to tell your story, you should get out there and do it. I think that people need to know that porn stars are people and that, we all have real lives and families, and that, you can be a mom and still get bussed down on the weekends or whatever. And like, that doesn't make you less of a mother. And there's value in telling those stories. I think like you're saying, like normalizing it, that's how we make things move forward. That's progress. Every time you normalize something, then people feel like, okay, well, I could do it too, or I could show that I'm into this too. Like, every time you talk about such and such on your podcast, I'm sure 3 or 4 people talk to their friends about that. Like, oh, hey, I'm into this. Are you into that? Like, it makes it so that people can say like, oh, this thing that I thought about that was weird, oh, other people are doing that. So I think there's value in telling any story, as long as it's not harming anybody. And so I think that if people want to have podcasts, they should. And, if anyone, wants advice or wants me to be on it, okay.
No, because to me, I love it. And the reason why I love it is because it's people talking about what we do and they do it.
Yeah,
before
like,
a lot of other podcasts,
walking it and talking it, like it really is. Like you really are doing it, and so you can speak to it. Because there's a lot of people that talk out their asses. They think they know things and they don't, and you can tell. Like, everybody's talking about that podcast where the 2 guys were talking about how they don't date Black women, and they were
talking about fish. Fish.
Yeah,
I was just talking about this. Go ahead.
They're terrible. Let's not give them any press, but
They're
stuff like
garbage.
that,
Yeah, I know.
that's the kind of thing where I'm saying like it's harming
No,
people.
I'm gonna tell you what's so funny, right? I got to tell you this story because actually we're gonna be on here for a minute because I don't give a damn because you're a podcaster. You understand?
Yeah.
They're the reason why I started doing interviews.
Okay.
They are the reason that's the only why I would even say something or even say their name because they inspired me to do it. And it was them and Kevin Samuels. And they always like to have the OnlyFans girls up there. And see, this is my thing, right? As a podcaster, this is me. If it's certain conversation I want to have, I'm going to have that female that can fit that.
Okay.
If I'm going to sit here and discuss investments, saving money, building a business, this, that, and third, I'm not going to talk to an OnlyFans girl. Guess I'm going to talk to Sarah J.
Listen, there might be investment bankers on OnlyFans though, Bobby. You don't know.
Yeah, no. I'm just gonna ignore that. They're gumps. That's what the fuck they are. That's what they are. You can please don't let me get started on them niggas.
No, they're terrible. Anyway. And I was so mad. Like, that's the thing. Like, we give press to terrible people who are saying terrible, harmful shit. Like anything like that, I feel we should take that away. Like, give the mic.
See, it's not even to the podcast sphere. It's also the fact that because OnlyFans had the stigma or dealt with, for the most part, sex workers.
Yeah.
You're bringing them on. You asking them questions that they necessarily can't answer. They may not have thought about. They're not in the business like that.
Right.
You're basically devaluing the porn star. Why? Because there's females that you can bring on that same fucking podcast that can sit there and go toe to toe with you on that business. Give me Gugu Fupi. Give me Missy Stone. He won't go get them. No, I go get the OnlyFans girl that don't really know shit. She don't have a main fan. She don't have a many vids. She's not doing it to the level that Miss Rocket is doing. You feel where I'm coming from? You feel what I'm saying?
I mean,
she
I'm
fucking Billy Bob.
So
yeah. I mean, not still, babe. Let's toot our horn.
All right.
Let's toot our horn now. They're fucking Billy Bob who don't want to give up the ID or the paperwork.
But listen,
you're fucking, let me say this again. You're fucking top 10 dudes.
Yes.
Proceed.
Okay. What I was going to say is there's a reason that they do that, and that's to make themselves look good and to act like, oh, we got one over on them. Oh, they're dumb. They're just sex workers, blah, blah. Like, fuck all that. They obviously have an agenda. They're misogynist. They're colorist. Like, they're terrible people, and we give them a spotlight and we allow them to move the culture in a terrible direction. And so, like, with all of that, I think Meek is hitting me up saying, how was it? We're still going.
You should know, God dog.
Oh, he knows I can talk forever. That man calls me. Well, you know, he drives a limo for his 9 to 5. So every time he doesn't have a passenger in the car, he calls me. And the funny thing is, I don't really talk on the phone like that. Like, I'm not a phone person. So when we first started talking, he was like, I'm going to call you. And I was like, oh, God, like, that makes me nervous. I don't want to talk on the phone. And now he calls me like every 5 minutes. And when he had COVID, he wasn't calling me. And I was like, you got me used to talking on the phone. And now you're just laying in the bed sleeping. I was like, call me, damn it. He's like, I can't even keep my eyes open. I was like, well, just put the phone next to you because I'm like used to talking to you all day. But enough about that. The point is, those guys are not doing anything that moves the culture in a positive way. And I think that, you know, the best thing you can do when you have a mic and you have an audience and all that is to do something positive. And like when I had my podcast, like, you know, we went to a lot of Black Lives Matter rallies over the summer, and we raised a lot of money. We made T-shirts, and we raised like over $1,000 for Black Lives Matter Rhode Island. And you know, I was like, I want to do something, you know. And now my new thing is, so I have personal experience in this area where I know that somebody offered me more money for the exact same, well, actually, so I'm not going to say who, but somebody offered me more money than they offered a Black sex worker who does the exact same thing and has more longevity and has been in the business longer. They offered me much more money for less sex acts, we'll say. And so as a white woman, I will not accept less, I will not accept more money. And I would call you out on that. I will not accept more money than a Black woman. And you need to pay her for her worth. You need to pay her more than me. And I absolutely will not work with a company that I know offered me more money for less. So I talked to, I said, have you worked with so-and-so? She said, oh, they offered me this. I said, were you supposed to do, such and such? She said, oh, they said they would only give it to me if I did anal. And I said, well, they told me they would pay me this without anal. So I decided not to work with that company because of that. So I think if you're going to do something, you need to use your voice and you need to use for me, I'm going to use my whiteness.
That's interesting.
Right. So I absolutely will not work with a company that I know for sure is doing that.
This how I know she's a podcaster. She went on a tangent that I didn't even think about to even discuss. But since we there, see, she done added an extra 20 minutes. I knew it was gonna be a 2-hour with you because that just something told me. And I like doing episodes like this. All right, let's discuss it. All right.
So it matters to me. It matters to me that I am being authentic, and I'm also using my privilege as a white woman to say, no, I absolutely will not allow.
I'm gonna ask you this. This is the question I'm gonna ask you because I got to ask these questions. Period. Yes, the pussy's about to dry up a little bit more. The dick's about to go a little bit more lip on this one. Now,
my pussy is never dry. Continue.
I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say nothing. Unique, come get her. Unique. Come get her. Anyway, I'm just joking. All right. You're a female who love Black men. Okay. Because we had it because early in the conversation, you said you regret when you came to Thor. All right. Now with that,
because I got to know Thor afterwards.
But this is going to lead to something else because this is the conversation that I've never had with any white female, that not even Sarah J herself, and I never had somebody. I didn't want to give the balls to sink in when would actually answer these questions. This line of question. All right, now question number one. Being that you're now open to doing paid gigs in the whole nine, if you are faced to work with a guy that is not Black, how will you handle that?
That's fine. I'm not, dating him or marrying him or anything. If it's just, a white guy, okay. I think that I am, I vibe better with Black men. Black men can handle me better. I have a big personality and I'm mouthy and whatever. And so in my experience, in more ways than one, and in my experience, just in terms of who I vibe with, all of my friends are Black. And that's just how I've, ended up. I think it's, I'm just really authentic and I think people vibe with it. And, so that's just kind of my crew is Black, whatever. So but I, it's not that I don't like white people. I just, I don't like being associated with them.
Because the reason why I asked that is, one, if a female says, okay, I do not want to work with, in the case, like I said, in your case, they said there are some white women that would not work with a white dude or a dude of another ethnicity unless he's Black. All right. The question is, they have to deal with the possibility of it limiting them in the business in some ways. Because so the question which I pose is like I said, with you, you ain't got to worry about that. You know what I'm saying, to a certain extent, because you just basically said you're open to it, even
I would
though.
do it if I was getting paid and it was somebody
Mhm.
that I'm not gonna just like if some like arrogant, crappy, racist white man comes in the room, I'm gonna be like, nah, never
Oh
mind, I'm
hell
good.
no,
Right.
hell no, like peace. I'm out.
But listen, it has to be somebody that I like vibe with them politically.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, and that's why I said that about Thor, is because I did feel like, oh shit, I judged a book by its cover. Because when you meet
mm-hmm.
Thor, like he drives a Hummer. He's like a
He look like
big,
a
muscular.
Viking. He look like one of the guys from the Viking Raiders. No disrespect.
No, I mean Thor, like he walks in the room,
He's
I was
cool.
like, oh God,
Yeah.
is he a Trumper? Like I really immediately was like, and
No,
then
I like his
but
look.
I started talking to him, and Thor is like, he's just not at all who you would expect him to be. Like he really is a
Mhm,
great guy, and he is not at
mhm,
all, Trumpy. So
mhm.
so after that, I did say to Thor, like, hey, I'm sorry, I judged you before I knew you. But yeah, no, I would have to vibe with said white man that I'm doing scene with.
Yeah.
But it's not
Mhm.
that I'm like, super against it. It's just that I guess as an active anti-racism, I'm certainly not just like volunteering to fuck shitty white men.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, I feel you say. I feel you say. No, no, no. I mean, when it comes to your content, that's one thing. And even if you didn't want to ever work with a white dude, that is fine. It's just the question that I ask ladies is like, there's gonna be pressure because you might have, let's say, hypothetically speaking, Brazer Holler. Or we manifested a little bit. But anyway, Brazer, not in America, or because you have a look that fit what they would probably go after. I mean, I'm being honest. It's
I
15
think
years.
you're
This is
forgetting the part where
15
I'm like
years.
old.
I mean, seriously. Say what?
I said you're forgetting the part where I'm like older. That I'm like 10 years older than these girls.
Okay, then. Okay, let's have that conversation. See, she
Okay.
she just segueing in. This is the reason
Oh,
why I want to do
sure.
more episodes. See, this is the reason why I want to do more episodes with you. See, she just segueing. Okay, I didn't even ask your age, which apparently kind of tells me you in a certain age bracket. But here's the thing: have you ain't been in the business long enough. As you get deep into this business, you're going to notice that majority of the top girls are actually in their mid-30s, going into their 40s.
Really? All right.
See, I mean, think about it for a second, because the girls that are doing well are the older women.
Right.
And because you're actually on brand coming in, because remember what's hot: MILF, Miss Parker, the soccer mom, stepmom, stepson.
Yo, everybody be fucking their stepmom, huh?
I did a stepdad, stepdaughter scene. Come on now. I mean, because what I'm saying is that, and two, you don't look your age, so
Well,
you
thank you. I appreciate that.
at most late 20s.
Thank you.
I'm
I
saying, so
appreciate
I'm
that.
like,
I am
I said, I need to get
37
younger.
years old.
I'm like, you go, you need. You gotta make it.
I am 37.
See, but like I said, you still a baby though.
That's a baby? All right, I'll take it.
I'm 46 though, see, so I can say that.
I was joking with Nick because he's 38, just turned 38. So I'm like, well, I'll always be the baby. And so
Yeah.
but
Like
no,
I
and
said,
it's funny because Nikki Stixxx is 26, I think.
mm,
And so we were talking and she was like, what do you mean you're 37? Like she just couldn't believe it. And like she
yeah.
was like, oh, you like have such a young vibe. Like
Well,
she's like, I don't feel like
wait, if you ain't went to a convention yet, where do you see like Sika Black and Rita Daniels? Well, this
oh,
motherfucker.
I was watching her, Miss Black. She is fire. But
Yeah,
that's a gilf. Like she's
yeah.
doing her old lady thing.
But
Listen.
see, that's what. Um. Okay, then like this. When did you realize this is going to be a marathon, not a sprint?
Oh, that's funny. Very recently, and it's funny because so many people have been telling me, "Oh, get an OnlyFans, get a this, get a that. Like, you be so good at this. Like, oh, I buy your nudes anyway. Get this, get that." And everybody kept saying, like, "You're gonna blow, you're gonna blow, you're gonna blow." And I was like, "Y'all, it's not gonna be like that. Like, it's gonna be slow and steady. Like, it's gonna be a trickle." And you know, because things like that don't just happen in my life. Like, everything is hard work, and I'm okay with that. Like, you know, I want to work for it. So I think in the last, you know, week or so, when I was, you know, editing so much and making my OnlyFans, and OnlyFans kept rejecting me over and over again, and I was like, all right, this is going to be like, you know, like, you're right, a marathon. Like, it's not just going to blow and then, you know, where
now, do you have other platforms other than OnlyFans though?
Yes, so many vids, and you know, Unyque is putting me on everything.
I'm pretty sure it is. Shit, I was about to say, what? You ain't got to. Just in case, I know he already told you, but X videos.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, this weekend, like when we were in Queens, like I was like, take my phone, just set it all up. You got it. Do it. Yeah. Like, and we're also gonna, once we're closer, you know, we live 3 hours apart, but once we're closer, we're gonna do like lives and like chatterbait and all that stuff so that people can see us like together and ask us to do stuff or whatever. Because I think that would be, you know, really interesting and fun to try out and all that. But yeah, so I mean, I'm gonna do it all, and it's gonna take time and effort and all that. But I'm willing to do it. I'm ready.
Most definitely. I'm curious to see where you go. Oh, now I got to ask a good question because I know these guys are gonna be listening. They always ask how to get the business, everything. You're gonna have guys who hit you up. They're gonna want to work with you.
Okay.
What do they have to bring to the table? How they have to approach you, and all that good for you to say, yeah, I'll do content trade with you. I'll work with you. We ain't talking about pay gigs. We talking about content trade. That means that he gets to work with you, and y'all get to share the content.
Right. So yes, I do know that. Unyque has put me on to like what all the little, you know, differences are and paid bookings and what I should expect and all that.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people have hit me up. And
I'm sure of it.
And so at the very beginning, I was just like, oh, you know, I'm really new to it. I'm just working with Unyque right now. Like, you know, let me get my feet wet, all that. Let me get my pussy wet, all that. And get into it. And then, you know, I think, like I said, like I want to make content with people who I vibe with. I want to make content that really looks good and looks authentic. I don't want it to, you know, be just, I don't know. You can tell when it's not, when the people weren't feeling each other, right? So people who I already have connections and relationships with obviously are first on the list. Rico Blaze hits me up twice a week telling me, fly out here, fly out here.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm looking forward to that one. I have a couple of talents manifesting in my mind that I would love to see you with. But anyway, go ahead.
I do love me some Rico, and he was like, damn, you could suck a dick. And he tells me that all the time. So, you know, Rico and I are gonna meet up, and then me and Nick and Stixxx and Rico were talking about remaking the Gangbang since we didn't film it and it was so much fun. So we might like, you know, reunion.
Oh God. Can't wait to see that.
How I'm
retired, so I have to live vicarious through you people now. So
well, I'm sure you talk to porn stars every week, so I'm sure you're doing a great job of living vicariously.
Oh yes, yeah. I miss the business, but you know.
You have to retire, or why did you retire?
Well, let me, like I told everybody, it wasn't in me anymore. It was like between, okay, like this how I live. The reason why I got in porn because I did music first.
Okay.
The porn pulled me. Podcasting pulled me to the point where I was content with retiring out of porn.
Got you. Okay.
But it's like, okay, yeah, we about to have real talk here. All right, so you understand how I am.
Listen, all talk with me is real talk.
Oh yeah. That's why. See, this is gonna be the start of a beautiful pod friendship. I see this. To me, when I do a shoot, I'm very professional.
Okay.
Like me and Unique, that's why I can vibe with Unique because me and him similar on it. Because the way we came from and the way that we was taught how to do scenes and stuff like that. Like do a photo shoot in the outfit that you in from Clothes and Nude. Me and you gonna get together, do a still, take pictures together, do a still with BJ, the whole nine. I do the role things. I wear the suit. I want you to wear something sexy. Shit, you think if I could pull off a cosplay scene, we could do all that. You know what I'm saying? That was to the level I was at. And I was heading to. And it takes preparation. It takes mental preparation because this ain't me just fucking you off camera.
Right.
I'm a fucking male talent. I have to fuck you on camera, stay hard, and pop. And plus, the way that I used to shoot, we shot 3 to 4 scenes a day.
Right. And so do we. Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? Because you want to maximize the time y'all got together for that weekend or what have you. So, right. And even extra if y'all can hang up. To me, a good content session for a weekend. If you're sore Monday, you got some good footage.
Listen, I was sore Wednesday. We was fucking.
Yeah. So to me, it's a preparational thing. Even when I used to shoot my wife, I had to take myself away from this is my wife. No, I'm shooting because I'm thinking while I'm filming.
Right.
See, I'm sitting here figuring out what position we're gonna be doing next when I want to hit it.
So that was kind of it wasn't a fight. It was just kind of like what's up? Like the vibe is weird because Nick was like directing so much that I was like, it feels like I'm not me. Like I feel like you're treating me like somebody else, you know? And
so with me, my technique was I said I'm gonna talk shit during the scene, but I'm actually directing you. You just pay attention.
Right.
It's I gave it to you in a digestible bite, so you won't be feeling like it's mechanical.
See, just I like that. If you said like if you say like get on your knees and take this dick, like suck this dick, like I would have loved that. That's not how he was saying it, and that's why I was like, who are you?
Like if I wanted a deep throat, I'd be like, Mama, yeah, eat that dick. Yeah. Let me see them eyes. And I might even point towards the camera a little slightly, like, you know what I'm saying? And stuff of that nature. But
that's a good strategy. I like that.
You know, I have the picture of what I want the scene to be, and that takes a lot of prep with me, mental. Like it takes me a week to prep for a shoot.
Damn.
So now you're talking about me having to get back into that world. Oh, by the way, I got to find the girl, fly the girl here. I'm about to sound unique for a minute. Fly the girl here. You know what I'm saying? Make sure that, you know, she's good. Sometimes we probably have to feed them. We have to bring the content. We have to bring the camera, the lights, the whole nine. I had a cameraman. Right. Like I had a whole plan. Like Friday we shoot POV, Saturday cameraman, Sunday cameraman. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. Like it was a lot of preparation, a lot that I had to go through. Started doing the podcasting because I hate people. It's because it's like I could just I don't need the next person to keep it rolling. You know, but it puts the stress of trying to find talent to shoot with. And I'm in North Carolina. I'm not one that can travel. A lot of girls don't travel to North Carolina. And then, like I said, you talking about covering travel. Girls don't want to show up, losing money. So it's when the pandemic hit, certain shoots fell through for whatever happened. I just said, you know something? And get out of porn. And what solidified it was the podcasting. Because you want to know why?
Wow.
And I told Unique didn't know I say this all the time. If I was talented, none of y'all motherfuckers would have shot with me, worked with me, or talked to me.
Why?
Don't say no, because it just played out like that. Because I'm gonna tell you the reason why. One, I was not one of the top male talent guys. I'll say I'm the most unknown known. It's just I had longevity in the game.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Period. Travel as much. You know, period. And plus my business was what was helping girls build their brand and help them maintain their brand. So my game was different from other guys. The other guy was just straight up male talents. No, I'm trying to help girls make money as well as build my company.
Well, that's why you and Nick relate so much, because Nick stays trying to help other women.
Yeah, so it was, so the whole point was that was the reasoning why, and because I wasn't mainstream, I'm not Don Prince, I'm not certain cat, my shit was content trade. So I'm like, you know, at the end of the day, I'm like, pay you, I can give you some killer ass content that can make you money and it's proven make money.
Right.
Yeah, I just seen girls make $1,000 off of just shooting with my motherfucking ass. Shut the fuck up. My dick sells. Okay, now. So it's that's why I said the females wouldn't have gave me the time of day, because I wasn't in that realm for them to do it, because they would look at me as an amateur porn star or what have you. You know, period. So yeah, like I wouldn't, if doing podcasts, it changed the dynamic, because now I'm talking to you about not only doing the podcast, doing the shoot. So I might lose you for the podcast and the goddamn shoot. Nah.
Listen, I'm not trying to judge people off what they can do for me or like where they are in the game. Like that's not it for me at all. Like like when I met Rico, like Rico really wasn't popping like he is right now. Like Rico hasn't really been in the game that long. And when I met him, he had only been in the game like 4 months. And so
but see, Rico was in the room. You get what I'm coming from? I wouldn't. Okay, the only reason I was able to work with Princess Gemini because I actually went to his article.
Right.
It took me to go. It just, I never got to the point when I was ready to travel. That's when shit wanted to fuck up. And then when I try to bring people around, shit fucked up. You get what I'm saying? So, and like I said, I go with what pulls me. Like I said, these females, and one of them, I'm not gonna say who, told me, no, I can't work with you because I don't do amateur porn, even though I was shooting exactly like the dude she just did a shoot with. Had a camera. You feel what I'm saying? So I know this, and I'm not mad about it, because I might can't get to fuck you. You get to fuck with you mentally.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? So
don't count yourself out.
It's kind of Black Dynamite. I'm Bullhorn. I talk the draws off of you now. Make it come with.
Hey, there you go. Come with the conversation. I like it. That should be your slogan.
Oh yeah. One of the slogans I said, we give you that mental high. You know what I'm saying?
Listen,
we give you that.
You know what? I realized as we were talking that I didn't mention one of my favorite people that I met in Vegas, and you kind of remind me of him, is Mr. Mysterious.
That's my dude. That's my other dude.
He's good people. Love him.
Once again, I mean, damn it.
I'm just name dropping like a motherfucker. But listen, these are all my people now. Like, we all just fell in love with each other that weekend. Like, everybody got so close. We were all staying at Gemini's house. Like, we were supposed to get an Airbnb. It was like this big place. We were all going to stay there. And right before, like the day we all flew out, they found out it was to make porn and they canceled the reservation. So we all stayed at Gemini's house. So we got real close, like it was real tight. And everybody was super good friends after that. Like, you know, that's how we all, like, that's how I know, like, love Jada so much, is because we were like sleeping next to each other. Like, everybody was sleeping in the same house. So, I mean, some people had, like, Nick had a hotel room, and I think Stixxx had one and whatever. But like, I mean, Mysterious was there 3, 4 in the morning just vibing. He was telling me about his rap career. And
wait a second. Won't they doing a gangbang and he posted it?
Who? Mysterious?
Mysterious, yeah.
Yeah, on like a mattress on the floor. Yeah, that's Gemini's house.
And you was in it?
No, I was not in it. And the funniest thing is,
Okay.
I went and I was sightseeing, whatever, and I walked in the front door of Gemini's house, and that was the scene that I walked into. It was right there in the living room, right on the floor, and I was like, damn!
Yeah, Gemini can't work out there in Vegas. I'm like, damn. But
I was like Vegas is wild.
Yeah, I like I said, I know whenever I have the money and the courage, I'll be taking some trips so I can be partying with people because, like, even with the Exoticas, it's like now I have to go to pod instead of the shoot. So,
well, I would love to do so that was the whole reason I went out there was to make the podcast from there, and we had tons of content, tons of material, and then we came home and our relationship fell apart, so we never even made the podcast about going to Vegas and doing all that, which is actually kind of funny because now of course Nick is like, well, you just came out there to meet me, like that was, the universe was like, go to Vegas.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Yeah, kind of how it happened. You left with you left with no dude and found a dude.
Right. And didn't mean to at all. And the funny thing is that Nick said, he was like, like that first night that we met, we were talking out on the patio, and like he was like, you were just like resting your head on my arm while we were talking, and I was like, I just met this girl, but like this feels weirdly comfortable, like, and like now I'm like, damn, like that was crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna ask you a question.
Yes.
I gotta ask you.
Okay.
So was the dude, was that weekend like the thing that broke the camel's back per se?
No. I had just given him like a real like heart to heart, like either, shit changes or we're done right before that. And
okay.
Yeah, so we already had problems. He
it basically the trip just put it in deeper descent.
The trip just made me realize. The trip made me realize, like, oh shit, you need to get out of this. Like, he was
get out of there, buddy.
Right, he was yelling at me the whole time in front of everybody. Like, it was real embarrassing. But yeah, but it's fine. I mean, go do your thing.
I mean, so now with that, because you are a podcaster, and we get to that part of the show real quick. Are you coming back? Because I mean, you have it set up. I mean, well, not. I think what you told me was he pretty much has the podcast, to say the least.
So all my podcast is still all up. It's all. I'm proud of that body of work, even though our relationship is over. I think that we set some valuable things are in there, and if people want to listen to it, I would love that, and I hope they do. It's called The Bust Down. You get, it's Spotify, Apple, whatever. But I do want to come back on my own and sort of, come from now having this part of myself and exploring, the porn world and all of that. I think that I have even more of, a perspective on, like, we're talking about normalizing sex work, normalizing, moms who like to fuck, normalizing, like that. It's not just, like I love, some people don't like Cardi B, but I actually really love Cardi because I think that she is normalizing
I love
that.
Cardi.
Yeah, I love Cardi because she's like, listen, you can be sexy and you can, say nasty shit out your mouth and you can, gyrate on whoever and you can still be a great mother. And those things are not mutually exclusive. And it's okay to be like, listen, women have sex. We like sex. Like, that's all right. And like, I don't think it takes away from me as a mother at all that I also, want to get gangbang sometimes. Like, and there are plenty of women.
Mama can be a freak. It's okay.
Listen, mama is a freak. As long as nobody's like, calling the school.
If they had a single mama, they had an uncle that they know was not fucking family. Stop playing. Right, exactly. Go ahead.
and it might have been your dad.
It might have been goddamn. He's coming over like, yeah, I'm checking on the kid, but I'm actually checking on you, girl.
That's Uncle so-and-so. And then, 30 years later, you do the 23andMe, and that was really your daddy.
Right, God damn it.
He was in your life. Listen, no, and I think that it's important to like have that perspective and to be like, you know what? Like, because like I read comments like on Instagram or whatever, like anytime a celebrity who also has children wears something provocative, half the comments are like, "You're a mom now, hang it up. You're a mom now. Do you want your kids to see you like that? You're this, da da da." And I'm like, why do we do that to people? Why do we you can't be multidimensional. You can't be more than one thing. Like once you become a mom, you have to be like a prude. And then on the other side of that, if you become a mom and you become a prude and you let yourself go, quote unquote, then that's also a problem. Like let women be multidimensional. Let women be more than one thing.
Yes. Because see, this is my thing. This is when it's because when I started doing into podcasting, it was organic. I didn't have no expectations or even a clue what I was gonna be doing. I just knew I just wanted to point everything to my porn. That's where the money was being made. Which ching ching, it does work. Now but it became a bigger mission because I've said this before, but not fully. And it's the reason why I'm saying it to you, because I want you to be a part of it. And it just sounds funny, and unique to a certain extent as well. My platform is open to people of the porn business, sex workers, OnlyFans girls, what have you, because I want them to have a voice. I want them to have the safe space where they can talk. And even to the point, be a gateway to this new genre where we can all eat and get money. Right. Because people want to hear about our business. Because you've seen it from the spaces that's on Twitter to the podcast that's coming out, people interviewing, talking, people of the business talking with people about the business that's of the business. You know what I'm saying?
That's also on the other app. I can't think of what it's called, but the one where it's like all the little circles and everybody gets in a group. I don't remember what it's called.
Spotify Green Room. That's one of them. And,
no, but yeah, you know what I mean. Everybody goes and talks about a topic or whatever. It's like a TED Talk, but in your phone. And I think that, more and more people are more interested in, like, for instance, when friends of mine, like in real life, found out that I was doing this, everybody was blowing me up. Like, yo, you're doing porn. Like, yo, my friend's a porn star. Blah, blah. Like, everybody was like, tell me everything. Tell me what it's like. Blah, blah, blah. Like, people really do want to know. Like, because I think there's sort of like, in everything, there's like a curiosity, but there's also like a, wow, could I do that? Like, they know me. They know I'm regular. They know I'm just like, exactly who I am. So they're like, how did you even do that? How do you even know these people? Like, for instance, when I took a picture with Thor and, posted it up or whatever, or Thor comments on my regular, my page Instagram before all this, Thor's, asking me to marry him on Instagram publicly. And my friend was like, yo, how do you know Thor? And I was like, he's like, that's the real Thor telling you, oh, you're the perfect girl. I want to marry you. And I'm like, yeah, because I met him in Vegas. And they're like, oh my God, Thor is like a gay icon. Like everybody loves Thor. Like this is my friend saying like, yo, like that's like a celebrity. And I'm like, oh, that's the homie. Like that's just Thor, But so it's funny because it's like you could, just be regular and break in, and then you're doing all this. And, like,
because even to the point that like with some of the shows we talk about real life shit, because see, like I said, it's we know what y'all can do. We know what you can do, I can do, what we can do in front of that camera and fucking this, that, and third. But what I want people to see is that we actually have opinions. We're smart.
Right. No, absolutely.
We do understand politics. We do understand business. We do understand what goes on in the fucking world. Just because we do porn doesn't mean that we're fucking idiots and all we want to do is fuck. Actually, they don't realize how much we have to curve our personal sex life to do the damn business to begin with. But that's another conversation for today. That's another conversation for another fucking day.
When Meek and I had COVID, Meek and I didn't see each other for 3 weeks when we had COVID, right? And he doesn't jerk off because he does porn, so he like saves every nut, So he wasn't jerking off at all. And he was like, girl, oh my God, I'm going to die. Like, I was like, sir, I don't know how you're doing that, because as soon as I felt like I wasn't going to die anymore, then I was tearing myself up, because I was like, I have not seen you in so long. Like, he was like, you are worse than me. Like, he kept saying, like, I kept asking the universe to send me a girl that had a sex drive like me. And he's like, and you're worse.
Hey, you know what they say? Beware what you ask for.
Yeah, the universe was like, all right, bet.
Is that what you want? Here you go. Hope you're happy, you motherfucker.
Yeah, you better drive from New York every time, because you don't want to, beat your knee.
But look, but get that, we've been going for almost 2 hours, so.
I know, Bobby, we're doing it. This is like our show now. No, I'm kidding.
That's why, hopefully we can exchange contact information so we can go ahead and discuss possibly doing a show for the Premium Smoke Room. That's what we get to discuss, because like I said,
I would love it. Listen, if people like me, then I'll come back. But if they're like, oh, that girl was annoying, then, I don't want to ruin your show.
I don't think
but
you will be back.
Oh, I hope
I'm
not.
telling you, I'm telling you right now, because I know my fan base and I know how you talk and you give it up. That's what they like to hear. They like females that are entertaining, that are funny, and you're all that. That's why I say I would love to work with something on you.
Well, let's do it. I would love it. And honestly, I would love it if you, me, and Unyque did a show together, because then you can kind of get the perspective of like how he's been mentoring me and from his side. And we could talk about the director versus lover situation.
See, she just gave an idea for. See, that's why I say, yeah. Okay, then that means I got to ask you a question.
I'm listening.
Will you be a smoke buddy?
Absolutely. Do we get high together?
Yes, we do. It's the smokers.
Hey, I would love that.
Now, with that being said, tell everybody where they can spend money on you.
Oh, you can spend money on me on OnlyFans. OnlyFans / Rioux, RIOUX Rocket, like Pocket Rocket, because I'm tiny. And you can spend money on me at ManyVids, same. Everything's the same. Twitter, ManyVids, OnlyFans. Still working on X videos and something else. And Nick and I are gonna have a ManyVids and X videos and all that are together. Like, we're gonna have separate ones and joint ones. So if you want to subscribe to us as a couple, or subscribe to me, or subscribe to him, whatever. Although he tells me constantly that he doesn't want people to subscribe to him to get to me, because he wants them to pay me. So
say no more, because I mean, at the end of the day, because it's the trickle down effect. Because at this, how I looked at it, if they go to her site and they like the scene, they'll come to mine.
Right,
you know
exactly.
what I'm saying? But the women has to be the main course, because that's how the business works. Because y'all are the stars. Like you said, that's a top 10 dick. I'm fucking a top 10 dick. So if they want to pay to get that dick, then they should pay that man for his beautiful dick. Say no more. So now,
that's a good way to end it. That's the title of the show. Pay that man for his beautiful dick.
Oh my God. Oh Jesus. So now, people, you know how we got to end this. Always, every way, all day. Life is a learning experience. What's the point of the experience? You didn't learn anything. Smoke this over. Thank you for coming to the lounge, baby girl.
Thank you. I had so much fun. Let's do it again soon.
Yes.
Mwah.
Black Wall Street is now online, baby. That's right. Visit the GW District. Shop the very best in men's and women's apparel and accessories, home decor, office supplies, books, pantry items, and so much more. The GW District is a retail marketplace of Black-owned products and media. We're both veteran and Black-owned, and we're bringing you the best online shopping experience with products made by small businesses. Come and experience the GW District difference today at shopgwdistrict.com. That's shopgwdistrict.com. The GW District, a retail marketplace of Black-owned products and media.
That's right. That's right.